What's up, guys? Today we're going to interview a very good friend of mine. Her name is Jasmine, and she's had a very, very interesting life. Very wonderful person, and I wanted to introduce her to you all. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the interview. So, Jazz, tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, I'm 38 years old. I'm from Detroit. I've been down south for 15 years. Um, I had 2 kids. I'm divorced. That's it.
How was divorce? I mean, how is divorced life compared to married life?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's good, I guess. But I mean, married life wasn't bad either. So my marriage was pretty good.
How long were you married?
11 years.
Really? That's
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what do you think led to the demise of the marriage? Like, why did you guys divorce?
Alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alcohol is a terrible thing. I hate
Yes.
alcohol. I really do.
Yep.
Um, Alcohol, man, that sucks.
Yeah, I'd get drunk and think I could whip the world, and it just didn't work out too well. Yeah.
So you have had a struggle with alcoholism.
I did, yes.
Really? So, like on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad do you think alcohol, I mean, like having an addiction to alcohol is?
Oh, it was pretty bad. It's bad. When you scrape out pennies for beer, I started drinking NyQuil. Yeah.
So compared to something like, I don't know, let's say cocaine addiction, do you think they're hand in hand? Alcoholism a little bit less serious?
I don't know. I don't know. Alcohol's pretty serious. I think it affects you. I mean, it all affects you physically more, but the alcohol is, yeah.
Hard on the body.
Yes. Yes.
I believe it. I believe it. So, okay, so you were married for 11 years, 2 kids, and after you got divorced, I mean, did life get better? Did it get worse?
Well, it got worse because then I didn't have anybody supporting me, and I had to learn how to support myself
Yeah,
and
yeah.
actually get a job. So, which I didn't know anything about.
Yeah. Was he rich? Did you at least get half of everything?
No, we weren't rich. Not at all. No,
Better luck next time.
we didn't own anything for me to get half of anything. A vehicle, but I wrecked that.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
And you guys were living in what city when this happened?
Selma.
Selma, Alabama. Awesome. Okay. So after you got divorced, I know you got into a little bit of legal trouble.
Yeah.
And so how long after divorce was it until you got into some legal trouble?
About 5 years.
Okay. So married 11 years, no legal trouble.
Besides the public intox here and there.
Right, right. Okay. And then got married, got divorced, kind of,
Yeah.
went off the deep end. And then, so can you tell us a little bit about your charge?
Yes. Okay. Charges. So, after my divorce, I started a new relationship with somebody, and it was pretty toxic. And well, he was talking to other girls, and the other girls that he was talking to, I went and burned their houses down. And yeah. And so I just kind of had a moment. I just snapped. It was.
So what do you think led, so can you just give me a little bit of insight, like into your mind, like, I'm going to burn these.
Let me just add, nobody was home. Nobody got harmed.
That is very important. No one was harmed in the making of this
Yes.
criminal charge.
Right. So, that's what happened. And I got arrested shortly afterwards. And, of course, I admitted everything. So.
That is the first, that's what you never do. You always say,
That-
no, I don't know anything.
That's what everybody says. I've never been in trouble before.
Call my lawyer. I didn't do a damn
I've
thing.
always thought, like, honesty was the best policy. If I'm honest, hey, it'll give me, a little leeway. But no.
Believe it or not, in all honesty, when I was a kid, I got charged with a burglary charge. Oh, no, attempted burglary.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't do anything. All I did was get onto their balcony and do nothing, right? But I figured honesty was the best policy. So I told the detective, I was trying to break in the house. And so that's how I got my charge. But afterwards, when I spoke to a lawyer, when my aunt hired a lawyer, he said, dude, you didn't do anything. He said, at worst, you were trespassing.
Right.
He's like, he didn't say it, but I was an idiot.
Yeah.
I should have just kept my mouth closed, waited for a lawyer. So listen to all the viewers out there. If you ever get in trouble, don't say a word. Honesty is not the best policy. Shut up.
Yes.
Call a lawyer. Don't say a word until you've spoken with a lawyer. Let them create your narrative and handle everything for you. All you need to do is repeat after your lawyer. That's all you need to do.
That's right.
All right. So you went to prison. No, I'm sorry. You went to burn these people's houses down.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about the toxicity that you experienced in the relationship that led you to want to burn their house down.
I don't know, just like the head games, the manipulation, and the I don't know. When say, like I tell people, you can do anything in the world to me. Don't mess with my feelings. Don't hurt my feelings. It's just, I don't know. You never know when somebody, when somebody has you by the head. It's just, it's like almost like you're not in control of yourself. So, if somebody else is. That's what happened. I had a weak moment.
Understandable. Okay, and so just out of curiosity, why not burn his house down instead of the girls?
Because he had kids 5 kids in his house.
But it was his fault, right?
Right, but they were my friends, or they were supposed to be.
So they did know that you guys were together.
Oh yeah, they knew, and they knew I told them I was gonna burn their house down. Like they knew it, and so I gave them a heads up, and yeah.
Okay, so we burned their houses down, and then the police come.
Yep. But the police came 2 months later, knocked on my door.
Okay, all right, so it took about 2 months. And then you end up, what were the charges that were pressed?
Arson first, arson second, and attempted arson.
Okay, arson first. Oh, those are serious charges.
Yeah.
Did you do any prison time?
I did on one charge because it happened to be right over the line and in separate county. But the other ones are still, I'm still waiting trial.
Okay, and so you did end up going to a women's prison?
Yeah, Tutwiler.
Tell us a little about women's prison. I mean, people see a lot of male prison depicted on TV. The only time I remember seeing female prison is Orange is the New Black.
Right,
Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
It wasn't good?
That's not how prison is at all.
But it was a good show.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so tell us the real about women's prison. Give us the insights.
It was awful, horrible. I don't know. It's like I was a lot smaller then, and so it's a little bitty on me and all the girls in the intake group. You go to intake and you're there for 3 weeks. You got to get all this blood work done and wait to go up the hill. They call it, to the actual prison. So all the girls are excited. They can't wait to go up the hill, and they've all been in and out of there 5, 6 different times. And I was like the only one that hadn't been there before. And I didn't want to go up the hill. Like the day it was time for us to go up the hill, I freaked out. I had a huge panic attack. I didn't want to go up there. And all the guards are just shaking their head at me like, you're not going to make it. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, yeah, thanks. And so we get up there and they put me in the biggest dorm with all the violent offenders and most of the lifers.
Really?
Yeah. I stayed on my bed and cried for 3 days. I didn't move, not to eat, not to shower, not nothing.
Oh yeah, because they group you by your charge and since you
Yes.
have a violent charge.
Right. And so, and your custody level, pretty much, you can't move or anything. But my custody level happened to be at a custody level where I can move. And surprisingly, because I had a violent crime, and usually you can't. But I was sentenced to 2 years. I only did 6 months there, which to most people is not a lot of time, but that's a lot, It is.
We'll call you a short time.
And so this one girl came up to my bed, and I don't know who she was, and she's like, you know what you can do to get out of here, right? And I was like, what? And everybody told me not to listen to her, but she's like, go up to that guard over there at the door and tell him you want to kill yourself. So of course I'm not suicidal, but that's exactly what I did. And I got stuck in a cement room. It was dark and it was cold with no clothes, no nothing, and I was only in there for 3 hours, thank God. But
so they only put you in there for 3 hours?
Yeah, only 3 hours. Because so the therapist, they do the psychological evaluation. That's where they determine your placement, pretty much, along with your crime. But she said, you seem pretty intelligent and you don't really seem suicidal. What's going on? And yeah, I just said, how long do you keep people on suicide watch? And she said, it depends on the severity. And I said, well, I'm calling suicide every day before I go back in there. And so they moved me.
Was it really? Okay.
It's crazy, violent. The girls are just not nice.
So like in men's prison, you know, you got, you know, it's just like machismo. So like everybody's all tough.
Right. Okay,
want-
so women, you know, women, they have that, I guess, you know, well, most women have that natural motherly instinct, you know, so they're nurturers pretty much. So it's really not like that. Women, there's some violent stuff and crazy stuff going on in there, and women aren't very nice, but they still have them nurturing instincts. So it's like they, you know, when you first come in there, you know, it's like, they don't like, you know, they have to make that their home, a lot of women in there, and they have to be comfortable there. They don't like newcomers coming in their home and messing things up. And, but at the same time, they you know, they show you around, show you what you're supposed to do, not supposed to do, and, you know, and they try their best to make you feel as comfortable as possible in that situation. So, I mean, I never had an altercation or argument with anybody, thank God.
Good.
I'm not a fighter, so. I
So
don't-
like, would you say there was not really a violent vibe in the air?
I mean, yeah, there was, but still, I mean, it's crazy. It's hard to explain because it's like, you know, okay, so when they had me in the first dorm where I just stayed on my bed and cried for 2 days, it's like if you get off your bed, it was so packed in there, you bump into somebody, okay? You're gonna bump into somebody. Well, it doesn't matter if you say, excuse me, my bad, anything. No, they get mad. They get upset. They want you in their way, you know? And it's like, you just don't, they walk around, there's a look, you're like, don't speak to me, nothing, you know, but if, I don't know. It's hard, but they're still going to make sure, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to do and you know what you're supposed to do and do this and, you know, and help you out in that kind of ways. Or, you know, if you need something, they're offering it to you. And everyone says, don't take it. Don't take anything that offered to you if I was in prison because, you know, it's, I don't know.
Don't
Yeah.
want the same honey
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's another question. But I'm gonna get to that. So, but just
Versus men, they're not like that. You know.
yes, they are. They're sick fucks. Sick fucks. Predators. They
Yeah.
need to be in there. They need to put them fuckers in a dungeon. So were there ever people getting stabbed? Was that a thing in women's prison?
No. So when, and they actually, and I didn't know this was actually a thing too, but they came in and raided us. I mean, like guys
Yeah.
in the vest, like we
Sure.
had guns and stuff with dogs. They raided us. They tore the place apart. And I was like, what's going on? I was scared. And the girls were like, oh, they do this all the time. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, they're finding all kinds of stuff. They're taking girls out in cuffs. I guess the girls got caught with drugs. Taking them out in cuffs, and then they're even taking the squares off the ceilings and finding like shanks and stuff made up in there, like with broken broom handles and stuff. And it's so women have all this stuff, but really no, there's not. It's not. I didn't see any stabbings. I saw quite a few fights. You know, they go in the bathroom, the only place where there's no camera. So they meet me in the bathroom. They go in the bathroom, fight it out. And, you know, one girl comes out all messed up and the other doesn't. But I did see, I was working in the kitchen, so I didn't have to stay in the dorm, and that was brutal, you know, doing all them dishes for all them inmates, like 3 times a day. It was awful. But, so we're waiting, we're fixing up the kitchen, and the girls are outside waiting to be let in the cafeteria, and you hear all this screaming, and this one girl walks in by herself, and like her throat cut, just blood everywhere. And that was like one of the scariest things I've seen in there. And, you know, come to find out she wasn't even cut that bad, but there was so much blood that you thought she was.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that
Yeah.
could be a little
Yeah.
traumatic.
Other than that, it's just girls calling pre on each other, like reporting like false sexual assaults and stuff like that. so they can be
y'all
moved with their
actually-
girlfriends and
Y'all actually used the PREA hotline?
yeah. Oh, they did. They abused it.
For those of you who don't know, when George Bush was president, he did at least do one thing good, which was the prison. Excuse me, that was my hot rod going by. He did pass the Prison Rape Elimination Act,
Yeah.
which did significantly cut down on sexual abuse inside the prison system.
Yep.
So along with many other methods, you know, ways to report, when the phone's on the wall where you would normally call your family, you can use that to do an anonymous, somewhat anonymous, because you have to type in your AIS number to use the phone so they know who you are. But you can do an anonymous tip about any sexual assault you may have been victim of or may have witnessed. So of all the horrible things that devil did, he
Yeah.
did do one good thing. So, okay. What about riots? Did they have riots?
Okay, so my last 2 weeks, right before my release date, I panicked. I thought I wasn't going home because they moved me to Montgomery, the work release, the women's work release. And so I was thinking, they wouldn't be moving me if I was going home. So obviously I'm not going, but I did. But it was my first day out there. And it was not quite a riot, but it almost was. Like all the girls, they didn't have enough manpower to handle all them girls. Like they ended up cornering all the staff out there. Like they had them cornered. And it happened twice my first day. And I was just like freaking out.
At the work release?
Yes. Okay. Well, one guard got into an altercation with one of the inmates, and I guess shoved her, and all the girls in there was like on it, like yeah.
Was he a man or was it a woman who shoved another woman?
It was a man woman.
The guard was a lesbian.
No, he was a guy. Yeah, he was a male, but he likes to be called ma'am.
Trans.
You're right.
Okay, he was trans. Okay, we're gonna not get on that, so we don't get banned from YouTube or any nasty
But yeah,
comments.
so they didn't have enough manpower to handle all them girls, and I thought for sure like there was gonna be a huge riot. It happened twice that day, but no. Other than that, no, nothing.
Did the CERT team, which is the people with the vests and the dolls, did they come after that?
No, not out there.
So when I did my brief stint in the joint, they kept us out on the yard all day. It was super hot, and then it started to rain. And so we was like, hey, we've been out here all day. It's raining. Let us in. And they were like, nope, we're not letting y'all in yet. And so he had to open the gate to let somebody through. And everybody just rushed the gate,
Oh, wow.
pushed the guard down, and we all went back inside by force. And we didn't do anything. When I came down the hall, there was a little bit of trash thrown around. But when I came back, like everybody went to their individual dorms.
Right.
We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't break anything, steal anything. But the next day, the CERT team was there.
Wow.
And it's like punishment. Like anytime you do anything out of the ordinary, because of course the guards know that there's drugs and cell phones and all this stuff, because it makes life normal and happy for the inmates. And so they call the CERT team to come through and fuck your life up. They take all the drugs, they take all the
clothing, everything.
Yeah, let's say you have a double mattress.
Yo.
You got the Cadillac mattress, they come, they take that. I remember one time they took my pictures. They said I had too many pictures and they took them. So yeah, your punishment, if you do get out of line in prison, other than just beating you to death as an individual, but if the whole prison stands up, they're gonna call the CERT team, and they're like some goons, man. They super big, and they got on jumpsuits.
And they're screaming in your face.
Yeah, one time I was walking, they said, oh, the CERT team coming, the CERT team coming. So we said, okay, guys, let's put the cards up, and let's go to our racks. So I'm walking to my rack, casually walking. And he come up, he said, where the fuck you going? I said, I'm going to my rack, sir. And I continued to walk. And I didn't know he was behind me. But so I kicked off my shoes, I had a top rack, so I got ready to jump up, and he just rammed my head into the rack. Boom.
Oh.
And I had, I've never been abused like that. And so, man, that shit really fucked with me, man. Because I was like, man, should I try to fuck him up? And I was like, nah, they're going to kill me if I try to fuck him up. Yeah. So I just got on my rack and laid there and meditated on how I just got abused by authority.
See, the guards in the women's prison, they, like all the female guards, the men guards, they're pretty strict. But the females, they just, they let you get away with anything. They don't care. You know what I mean? It's like they just, they don't see it. It's crazy. I mean, and it's good in some aspects, but then again, it's not, because it's like something's going on, and you're in fear for your life. They're just gonna walk past like they ain't seen nothing. Now, I got caught smoking in the bathroom in the work release program, and we used to smoke on our bunks and in the bathroom. You're not supposed to smoke inside, but you do. And I got caught smoking in the bathroom in the middle of the night. Well, the next morning, as my punishment, because I forget what the regular punishment was, but they couldn't give it to me because I was leaving in just a few days. But my punishment that morning, the guard handed me a broom and told me to go out to the basketball court and sweep the sun off the sidewalk. And it was like, I was really confused by that. I was like, and she's like, you're not that dumb. I was really confused. Like, what do you mean? And oh my God, I was sweeping until I had blisters on my hands.
They do rude. I mean, they do little weird. It's really cruel and inhumane for real. It really is. But anyway, they do it and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So back to you working in the kitchen. So I worked in the kitchen and I had a hustle. So me and this other guy, he would say that there was no more peanut butter in the peanut butter dish.
Yep.
And get a new peanut butter. And then I was on the dish line. So then I would take that peanut butter, put it in a big jar real quick.
Yeah.
and do that. Did you have a kitchen hustle?
Yeah, it was bread, loaves of bread, okay? And usually sugar if we could get it, anything really, but we were doing good. Okay, every Sunday was chicken day, okay?
Yeah.
And they feed us good when you work in the kitchen. Like the guy that ran the kitchen, he was always like, you know, we'd serve the inmates and then he'd fry us chicken and fries and stuff like that all the time. Well, every Sunday was chicken day, and so, you know, we'd sneak out chicken, me and two other girls, and we'd give it to a girl that's sitting out there, like sitting in the hall, and she would take it back to the dorm for us. Well, she comes walking out the door. You know, they were catching on to it. We had been doing it so many times, but they were catching on to it, and so they said no more coats. You know, you can't bring your coat into the cafeteria. Well, the one girl brought her coat, and she, you know, as she's leaving, the guard said, what's that? And she grabbed her coat, and we had just worked really hard to get all this chicken ready to go. 36 leg quarters. Okay? We hit a really good lick, and she got caught. But I never, you know, of course, you know, I didn't do drugs in prison, and it's like I don't see how anybody can afford it. But that's what it was. It's like girls trading it for drugs, obviously. But yeah, that was a good lick, and it didn't fall through.
So when I went to prison, so at first, and normally in Alabama, at least when Draper used to be open, Draper was like for younger kids who, I mean, of course, if you like kill somebody, you might not go there, but it was for the young people to get you used to the prison environment so you don't go to a real place and die.
Oh, okay.
And so, because men's prison is a lot worse, just based on what you were describing, like, you know, we have riots all the time, people get stabbed all the time, it's a lot of blood and death going on in men's prison. But, so I went to Draper, and they had a place called Six Cell, which was for like people who were 25 and below.
Right.
And they put you there to get used to they didn't tell you that, but you could just tell. So anyway, I was in Six Cell, and where were we going with this? Oh, the kitchen.
Yeah.
The kitchen. You know, I don't know where we were going with. I don't know where I was going with this.
The kitchen was brutal. I volunteered in the kitchen so I didn't have to sit in my dorm. Okay, and then when they finally moved me, I got moved. Okay, right before I went to work release, I got moved down to the annex. It's an honor dorm, but they moved me down there because they were overcrowded and a couple other people from my intake group. So I was like, yes, you know, I'm gonna quit the kitchen because I volunteered. So of course I can quit. And I go to quit, and they're like, no, you're job boarded now. So I was like stuck with it. Like, God, it was brutal.
So I know what led me to Six Cell. Okay, so me and all these other young kids, black, white, Mexican, everybody, we're there, you know, we're just getting used to prison. Of course, I did a lot of juvenile time, so I'm seeing people I know, they're like, man, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, bro, I ain't seen you in like a couple years, what's up? And so, but then as you've been there for a minute, you start to get put in other dorms.
Right.
And so me and this one kid, his name, I won't call his name. His nickname was Mo. Let's just call him Mo. He was young, he was white, and white guys have it really tough in Alabama State Penitentiary.
Yep.
And but he was young, his name was Mo, and he was from Birmingham. And he was cool. I mean, he was cool, look like anybody else. But he did, like on the street, I think he did heroin. And so, you know, in the prison they had the Suboxone strips. Did they have that?
They put it in their eye.
They put it in their eye, they snorted it up there. So they called it, in men's prison, they had caps. So you put it in a toothpaste cap, put some water on it, dissolve it, and snort it. Anyway, he got into a lot of debt, and that's what some of the predators use to reel you in is drugs. So he got into a lot of debt, and before you know it, one day, because I had a rack that was next to the bathroom, so I like me sitting on my rack, I could see the bathroom. I see him go in the shower, he was looking all sad. I see some big buff black dude go in the shower, and then they stay in there for a second, and then Mo Baby come out, and then another dude come out. So I pull up on him. I'm like, hey, Mo Baby, what the fuck just happened in there, bro? He was like, man, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, not that. I was like,
no.
But yeah, he had got so far in gambling, in dope debt, and his family stopped sending him money, and so he had to sell his body.
I saw that happen so much in the women's prison, but they don't, obviously they don't sell their bodies, but they get beat up, or they get everything taken, but that's the number one rule that I was told the minute I walked in them doors. Don't ever owe anybody anything, and that's real too.
So they don't, because I was thinking like in men's prison, now that PREA happened, you don't really have as many rapes, but you definitely have they're manipulating you out of your
Oh, yeah,
ass.
yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
taking it, they're running game on you,
Right.
and then they get it. So, but is that a thing in women's prison?
Not really. No, it's I never actually saw and I've never experienced anybody getting sexually assaulted. But it was always like girls fighting over you're talking to their girlfriend or you looked at their girlfriend or anything like that, or they wanted to be with their girlfriend, so they called Priya on just for anything. Yeah.
But so like they're not raping each other.
No.
Well,
No,
that's
but
good.
there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in them showers.
So,
But
can you tell us a little bit about what happens in the shower?
I mean,
I'm sure there's a
okay,
lot
so
of
you walk
horny
in the
guys out there
shower,
who-
okay, and you see something, and it's like they're not gonna stop. They're just gonna keep going, like you ain't looking at, you ain't there, like that's like they're the only two people in there, and 2 or 3 people in there, and yeah. So then, they get really creative. Girls get creative as hell in there, and they make the coolest clothes and stuff. Like that's another thing that they would have a fit about is when we were raided, they take all their altered clothing. I mean, they were taking clothes, and I don't know how, but they were making like lingerie outfits and stuff. It's crazy. They get so creative.
Yeah.
But and they like in the showers, so they give us women men's boxers, white boxers, in the intake, and the girls will take the toothbrush holders, okay, wrap pads around them for the cushion, and then a rubber glove, which we were not allowed to have rubber gloves, so that's another thing we were hustling from the kitchen is
Right,
rubber gloves.
right.
Yeah, and put the rubber glove over it, and somehow they would get it sewed into the thick waistline of their boxers, and you can use your imagination from there.
So it basically became like a prison strap-on.
Yes, exactly.
See, and that's another thing. That's people talk bad about prisons all you want to, but they are very creative.
Yes.
They take the best of what they have and make do with it. Like you'd be surprised at some of the stuff. Ingenuity is the word, but you'd be surprised at some of the stuff these people can do. Like you have a radio man, we
Yeah.
call him a mechanic. Like, hey man, I need you to fix my car.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got girls that'll buy poster boards off the canteen and like make really cool boxes, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man, you got like artists in there. It was this one dude, his name was Twin. I don't know where he is now, but he was so good. It's a lot of talent because people do make mistakes. And of course, despite what some people say, there is a lot of systemic reasons why a certain demographic of people go to prison and go to prison for longer periods than other demographics. But it's so much talent in prison. Yeah,
There
of
really
course,
is.
People do bad things to get there, but most people who haven't been in prison have done bad things too. So, okay, so we got our prison hustles. Women don't get raped. That's the thing. In men's prison is like up here, and
Yeah.
women's prison is like down here because man, niggas getting raped, they getting their shit taken. What about robberies? Did y'all have a lot of robberies?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so women do rob each other.
They do
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah, but they give us these lock boxes, and they tell you keep all your stuff in your lock box. Like if you have to leave your dorm to go to medical, to go to work, or anywhere, make sure you always lock your box. Well, girls get too comfortable, and you give people your combination, or you leave your box unlocked, and it was like yeah, they will get you for
What
everything.
about a kick door? Do they kick door? Do they just kick your box off the hinge? And did you ever see that happen? in
I've
women's
never
prison?
seen that happen. No.
I've seen that happen.
No, but I mean, I've seen so many girls get robbed in there. It's crazy.
Like they just pull down, like, give me your shit.
Okay, no, it's never. No, they always sneak up and do it when the girl's gone.
So that's a theft.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
a
now a
robbery
robbery.
is
Now,
we surround you. It's like 3 or 4 of us. We got knives, and we say, "Bitch, you better give me your."
okay, now
motherfucking
I've
cell
seen
phone."
that happen only when somebody owed somebody something for some
Okay.
dope or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if a lot of girls down at the annex, they ended up owing for like the football board. Yeah, I wasted so much money on the football board.
Of all the things that going dead over.
yes, but they took that very serious in there.
Man, so I heard this one story about this one individual. It was an old man. I want to hear. This was a secondhand account from somebody, but it was an older individual, and he had a cell phone. He had a wife and kids. He wanted to stay in touch, and to use the wall phone is pretty expensive depending on where you are. So he bought a cell phone, and this young dude came and took it from him. So he let it go the first time, which in prisons, in men's prison, it's very hard to do that. So he let it go. The guy came and took it from him again. And the man was old, he had a family, he let it go again, but he told the dude that the last time I'm gonna let this happen.
You're right.
And the dude came back and did it again. And then the guards found his ass. He bled out on his rack. He stabbed his ass to
Wow.
death. He snapped and went crazy and killed him. And so anyway,
See, men can get cell phones in there. Women can't.
y'all didn't have no cell phone?
No, I've never seen anybody with a cell phone. But the thing about it is, like, women are just, I don't know. Women are really shitty beings sometimes. Most of the time, they're horrible. Like, another woman doesn't like to see another woman do good. You know, a man, they can dislike this man, but they're okay seeing another man come up and do good. Well, like, so I mean, women to get anything in there, a lighter. You know, you get matches. Matches run out so quick. You know, women get a lighter. The one woman gets mad at this woman, and she's snitching on everybody. That's just how they do.
Yeah.
It's awful. So we can't have stuff like that. Men, they don't do that.
And there's only one women's prison in Alabama, is that
That's
right?
it. Just
So
one,
y'all just got
Tutwiler.
Tutwiler.
Yep.
I can see how that would be tough.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty easy to stay on top of that. Okay, and so your first and only job was kitchen?
That's it. Yep.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
So my first job, and this was literally the first job I had in my life. So this is like the first time anybody said, okay, you got to be here at this time,
Right.
and you got to work for a certain amount of time, and then you get off. So it was the farm squad, because I had low custody. But I wasn't low enough for work release, but I was low enough to go outside of the gates. And in Alabama, of course, they have fields of crops for you to get out there and pick while they ride around on horses with shotguns and watch you. And so slave vibes, very big slave vibes. But my first day on the farm squad, so in the state of Alabama, if you die in prison and nobody claims your body, they have a place in Elmore County called Boo Hill. And it's right there between 3 major prisons. And the farm squad, which was us, we dig a hole for you, and then we lower your casket into the grave. And so my first day on the job, we finished the hole and we put somebody in it. And luckily they get a tractor to come like push all the dirt back in. But so yeah, that was my first job. And then I picked a lot of corn, I picked a lot of squash. We did all kinds of stuff. They would tell us there's snakes out there, be careful, but make sure you pick the stuff. And I don't know, I guess in some strange type of way, it did instill work ethic in me. Like it, you know,
Right.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I do hard work, blue collar shit. Like, yeah, that Jason Aldean song, I relate to that shit. I put that shit in the ground, wait for the rain to come down.
Wow.
But yeah, man, prison is a really fucked up place. And I definitely think that, you know, it does a lot less rehabilitation and a lot more punishment. So like they put you in there, the conditions are horrible, it's dirty as fuck. What about the cleanliness? Was it clean in Tutwiler?
Women are so clean, it's crazy, and all they do is clean.
Man.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. You'd think it'd be nasty. I mean, and the whole place just looks old and worn down, you know, and it's out of date. But it is so clean. You could eat off the floors, I swear, at all times of the day.
Men's prison.
All they do is clean.
Exact opposite. It is fucking filthy.
Wow.
It's so nasty. And of course, you got people who their job is to clean, like inmates. But it's horrible. Did y'all have air conditioning?
We did, yeah. We did. We did. Except for when I got to the Montgomery work release, it was awful there. But we had these big fans, you know. But nobody ever wanted the fans on because it'd blow everything. You know, they were so big and powerful, they'd blow everything off their beds and stuff.
Air conditioning?
And no, it was broke there in Montgomery. But there up at Tutwiler, we did.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you. And what's the name of the women's work release in Montgomery?
It's just I think it's I just think it's Montgomery Montgomery Women's Work
Where's it
Release or
located?
something. It's right next to Kilby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Like we could see them play basketball and they could see us. Yeah.
So so that's the people we could see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I swear we used to talk to y'all.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Niggas like, yeah, bro, they had killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to talk to y'all. Man, I remember when I first went through Kilby, of course, you know, it's your first time, you are nervous. I don't care what nobody says. I want to stay at Kilby so bad, I wrote them a letter. I said, man, you know, I'm 18 and I'm cute. And I'm scared if y'all send me to a real prison, something bad might happen to me. Can I please stay at Kilby? And they moved me to like official dorm at Kilby, so I'm just knowing I'm staying. And then they woke me up in the middle of the night and told me to pack my shit.
That was the worst when they do that. When you know you don't see it coming. When they move you, you have no clue you're about to be moved. They wake you up in the middle of the night and tell you to pack all your stuff, and it's like,
man,
ugh,
it's heartbreaking.
it's devastating.
It's,
I did not want to leave the jail, you know, and I was in Autauga County Jail for 2 months before I was sent to prison, and we were on 20-hour lockdown. So we were only out of it 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, and that was, you know, they started doing that ever since COVID, and I didn't care. I'll do 20-hour lockdowns. I just wanted to stay there, and all the girls were like, "Oh, you'll love it over there. It's gonna be so much better. You get to smoke," and no, I didn't like it over there, and I wanted to go back the whole time.
now, that's one thing I can say. You know, they say, man, put me in white, I'll be all right. County jail compared to prison, I'd rather be in prison any day.
Oh, I didn't.
It's just so much more freedom. The stuff on the canteen is a lot cheaper. Your money goes further.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong, I would prefer not to be incarcerated at all. But if I had to be
Right.
incarcerated, just go ahead and send me to the state. I'll be fine.
That's right.
And that is one thing about prison for those of you who are on the way and you just, you know, you're trying to get some education first. You know, it can be bad. And if you go in there being very rude and disrespectful and rambunctious and stuff, it probably will be bad
Yeah.
for you. But if you go in there and you're calm and you respect others and you carry yourself with dignity and you don't steal and do drugs or
Yeah.
gamble, people tend to respect that because there's enough shit going on. People, you know, now people might try to take advantage of you sexually. It's, you know, if you're hot, you're hot. It's just hard to prevent people from doing that. But you know, sometimes you just got to.
There are some of the most gorgeous girls you would ever see in prison right now, like spending the rest of their life in there, and there's like, what a waste. Yeah.
I know, man. Tell me about
Gorgeous.
It is messed up, man. How people can, man. It's really sad.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I know this one guy. I'm just gonna call him Ty. He was young. He was like my age, but he had like a lot of time. And I don't know. It just made me think like, damn, man. Split second,
Yep.
heat of the moment. Make a
I got
bad
really
decision.
lucky that I only got the time that I got, you know, but because everyone said, you know, I got sentenced to 2 years. I only did 6 months, and it was like, yeah, 6 months isn't that long, but it was a long time for me. That feeling when you walk through them doors, that dreadful feeling like there's no way out. It's like, ugh. I would never want to go back. There's no way. I couldn't do it. And there's girls in there walking around bragging, like I was raised in this prison, and you know, like what? No.
Like, hey, with the one dude, he said, motherfucker, I've been in prison before you were even alive. Cause I was talking shit about him being gay. He was like, man, I've been in prison since before you were born. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in here for a long fucking time.
Wow.
Dude, fuck you.
Wow.
I'll never forget that shit. He was like, motherfucker, I was in prison when you was still sperm. Oh, fuck. Damn, that's tough though.
Damn.
It's a tough place. But some people, man, they get used to it.
They do. I couldn't go in there and get comfortable. There's just no way.
I mean,
But they have to, I guess.
my little stupid self, at first I had like 9 months. And then I keep writing to people, because I'm like, man, well, I did 9 months in the county jail. Why am I not going straight home? And
You
then
must have had a split. Did you take a split? No.
I had a straight 3. I had what they call it, juvenile offender. And
Oh,
the
youthful
max-
offender, yeah,
youthful offender. So
gotcha.
the max I could get was 3 years. My judge was a dick. Of course, he gave me 3 years. So I'm writing, and then kind of find out, oh, dude, you got a violent crime. When they realized I had a violent crime, they said, oh, you don't get no good time. Let's make that a straight 3 years, and yeah, we'll take those 9 months off for you.
Oh,
So
see, I got good time.
sometimes they make a mistake.
But yeah. But see, I was sentenced on arson second for that. So I think like when I go back from my arson first, or if I go back from my arson first, let's hope I don't. But I'm hoping to get community corrections. But if I do, yeah, it's gonna be. I won't get good time. Yep.
Man, because they send you this long thing, it's like so outdated, but because I just knew, like I literally had 9 months left. And you know, I had a girlfriend. I was just graduating high school, like, you know.
Wow.
And I got the letter back, and I'm like, oh man, I know I'm finna go home early. And I get to reading it, I'm like, oh hell no, it went from 9 months to like 2 years and 3 months I had
Oh,
left.
ouch.
And it just broke my little heart. It did, man. Like I got depressed, man. I really did. I
Wow.
just went and sat
Yeah.
on my bed. But if one thing I would say, man, if you have a relationship outside of prison, before you go, the best thing you can do is end it before you get there. You can remain friends, but it's gonna stress you the fuck out while you're in there thinking about her.
That was the
thinking
only
about
thing
what
that got
she's
me
doing.
through. So this guy
Man.
that I set all these people's houses on fire, yeah, like I stepped up.
What was his name again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So for men, I'm sure it might be different for women, but for men, my advice would be, man, because I swear I never started losing hair. When I first started losing hair, it was in prison. I was kind of stressing out over that girl. And now that I done got out, I ain't lost another strand of hair since. So I would highly recommend, if you have relationships, stay in contact with people because
Yeah.
you do need a support system while you're in there.
Yeah.
You do need a reason to like come home. Because that's another thing a lot of young brothers do. They get in there and they forget what the free world is, and then they get tattoos on their face.
Oh, girls walked around with their whole face tatted up. Their
Yeah.
whole face. This girl came in there in my intake group. So she'd already been to prison before. She's just coming in again. I think like the third time. She had in big bubble letters across her forehead, legend.
In bubble letters?
In bubble letters. What the hell?
Some people get in there and they forget that at some point you will go home and you will look for a partner and you will look for a job, and who the fuck gonna hire you with bubble legend on your face?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Okay, so you were in prison a whole 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get out. And what year was this when you got out?
This was, I got out January 16th, 2023.
Okay, so this. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You came to my house.
Yeah, yes.
This is one of my coworkers' girlfriends. So she came to my house.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, what's up, girl? I ain't seen you forever. She's like, yeah, I just got out of prison. Nigga, check my prison text. Okay, and then so now that you're out, you know, what would you say that prison has taught you? What lessons could you take? What lessons did you take from that experience?
I don't really know. And I mean, it humbled me a lot, that's for sure. You know, it's, I learned to let things go, you know, really, like seriously just let things go. And I'm not as vengeful. I was really vengeful. Like if somebody hurt me, I was gonna hurt them, you know, it's like, and I didn't forget it. You know, I was gonna get them. And I just like, yeah, it doesn't even bother me anymore. I just let things go a lot. I don't want to end up back in there.
I heard that.
I just don't want to, and that's, I don't want to be that type of person anymore. That'll eat you alive, man. It just bring you down. Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely say, because of course I did a lot of juvenile time, and doing time as a juvenile is like watered down. Like the people care about you.
Yeah.
They feed you good food. The environment is clean.
Mm-hmm.
They don't beat you to death if you do something wrong. And so I really felt like that was deceptive, because I felt like, oh yeah, I can just keep doing what I'm doing. Everything will be fine. And then you get to prison, you're like, oh my God, this is horrible. I want to commit suicide. How can I get out of here? And then you get out and you're like, oh fuck, I ain't never doing that shit again.
Right.
Whatever it takes to alter my behavior where I don't have to do that again.
Exactly.
I'll do it. For some people at least.
I mean, I'm not comfortable burning trash anymore, so I think I'm safe.
As far as recidivism, like of course, you know, some people go in, they go back, they go back, they go back. So it is safe to say, like now you have left the life of crime behind you, and you.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So, and of course, you do have a few cases that aren't settled yet.
Right.
And so there is still, you know, like
There's a chance that the DA told the judge that she wants to see me do about between 10 to 20 years. And yeah, that's no good time at all. So if I don't get community corrections, that's what's going to happen. I'm scared to death. But, you know, when I was sentenced to DOC, I was completely shocked when I went to court that day. I was expecting to get probation. I had 0 prison points and never been in trouble before. So I was shocked when the judge said, you know, he's going to sentence me to DOC. I was like, what? No way. I went to turn, and I was going towards that door, and when I turned, I bumped into this guy, and I'm looking up, and like within seconds, he had the cuffs slapped on me. He's like, go sit over there. I was like, no fucking way. Yeah. So, yeah, it scares me, but hopefully they'll all work out.
So just in case this is our last interview.
Yeah.
What advice would you give young people who, you know, they're just living their life. They're not thinking about prison, but they are doing reckless stuff. What advice would you give them?
I don't know. I don't know. Just like whatever you do now, anything you do now, it's gonna affect your future. You know, it's gonna play a good part in your future, whether it's good for the good or the bad. Really, I don't know. Just.
So do good things for the
Yeah.
children.
Yes.
Well, Jasmine, we really appreciate you sharing your time with us today.
Thank
I
you.
hope you guys have learned a lot from Miss Jasmine and myself because we've both been in prison. Even though we came out and we're both doing a whole lot better, trying to make something of ourselves.
Yeah.
And one last question. Sorry about that. Would you say that you having a criminal record has affected your ability to make progress or just live a normal, steady life now that you're out and free again?
No, it hasn't. I guess I got a good job. I was doing construction work though, but I guess if anything, it would affect future jobs because now I'm a convicted felon. But other than that, no.
Here's one thing a lot of people don't think about, and of course, I was lucky enough to be able to get out and have family members that I could live with until I could get on my feet, and of course, I contribute that to me being able to save up the money I needed to buy cars and buy equipment and buy stuff like that so I could actually start a business. But one thing that people don't think about is because most people aren't getting out of prison and buying a house. They're at least starting, you rent first.
Right. Yep.
But that is one of the things on the application. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Right.
And if so, that can disqualify you from even finding a place to rent.
Yes.
So then it's like, fuck,
Yeah.
well, what can I do?
Disqualifies you for a lot of things.
Yeah, I can't get a job. I can't vote.
With certain felonies that say you can't vote.
I can't
You
have
can't
a
apply for
house.
government assistance either.
Yeah,
I believe.
like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Just live on the street? Fuck it, I might as well go commit another crime. At least I have
There
food
you go.
and bed. So anyway, guys, I hope you learned a lot. And take it from two real criminals here. And we will see you guys on the next one.
All right.
Say bye, Nicole.
Bye.
Yeah, I think we did really fucking
You said
good.
bye, Nicole.